guys, I'm Alanah, and this is Button Bash. Wasteland 2 is a post-apocalyptic turn-based RPG that was actually successfully crowdfunded by Kickstarter, and may be one of the best games to come out of the Kickstarter method. It's the official sequel to the 1988 original Wasteland, which inspired a handful of other games, including Fallout. Aside from that, it's very easily one of my favourite games so far this year. You start with a party of 4 characters who you can either control as a group or individually while you're travelling around and during the turn-based combat sequences, though you can pick up 2 more if you happen to find them in the game world. There are pre-made characters available, or you can make your own from scratch, which I would encourage, and the world is completely full of challenges that only a character with the exact right skills will be able to overcome, which isn't necessarily a pro, but we'll get to that. Your squad is that of the Desert Rangers, a group of soldiers and survivalists whose duty it is to keep an eye on the wasteland and all of the odd stuff that goes around in it. When you actually leave a city or town, you start wandering through the waste and the survival aspects of the game kick in. There's a Geiger counter that warns you of radiation, as well as some really obvious clouds of radiation scattered around, but also a water indicator. Every time you take a step, you use up some of your water supply. You run out of water, your party will eventually dehydrate and die, making every step you take need to be actually purposeful. Even if the difficulty is immediately intimidating, the sheer size of Wasteland 2 is worse. If you'd call it worse, I'd call it better. It's a game that begs for replays, and I only managed to fit in one, and it uncovered so many things previously unseen based on my choices. It is absolutely a game of consequence in a kind of terrifying way. You get faced with choices all throughout the game. Help this person, help this one instead. You could wipe out an entire city just by helping someone else. You could make a group of people hate you eternally just by ignoring their pleas. You could cut off ties to people who might have helped you in the future in unforeseeable ways. And that's where Wasteland is at its best and its most impressive. It's probably one of the most replayable games I've ever played, and there's an enormous diversity of skills and fairly in-depth character creation menu. That said, in an odd way, your characters won't actually feel like a party very often. So yeah, unfortunately, Wasteland 2 has tedious moments scattered in between a giant game of political consequence. For example, a whole variety of things in Wasteland 2 can only be opened or interacted with by a character with the right skill set, and there are way more skills than there are characters you have access to. If you find something to interact with, take a computer you want to hack, you'll need someone with a computer skill to be able to. So you have to check your party, select the right character, then select the right skill, then do the thing. It seems like this is a needless complication that could have just been removed by just automatically selecting the right character for you. It's unlikely your character is going to double up on skills, so why make you get caught up in a menu when you just want to be interacting with a brilliant game world? The whole game has a lot of silly little stuff like this, and does involve a whole lot of looting, and clicking to move, and clicking during combat, and clicking through dialogue too, but it's expected in a turn-based tactical game like this, or maybe just a classic game. Sure, Wasteland has some modern features and some okay graphics, and it came out this year, but it absolutely plays like a classic RPG. It maybe even plays more like D&D than modern RPGs like Fallout. I feel like a lot of people probably won't like that about it though. Speaking of dialogue though, there's a lot of it, a heap of it. Every detail you want about exactly what you're doing is well thought out, even if the characters have detailed backstories and genuine motives. The apocalyptic world is so rich in detail that it's easy to forget you're mostly just clicking around the screen. The combat itself runs on a pretty standard turn-based system, with each character using their AP, or action points, to move or attack. This is where your party actually feel individually important and relevant and more like a team. Your AP is limited, meaning you've got to carefully calculate each attack you make, considering important preparations as soon as you engage in combat. A lot runs on percentages and countering whatever your enemies do in their turn, or preempting their attacks if you're smart. And because your characters will have certain speeds and certain pros in combat, it's like having 4 separate factors to consider at every moment. It's complicated, but not off-puttingly so, and had me stressing out pretty damn often, but in a good way. In that, oh man, I never want to put this down way. And honestly, if I had more time, I'd put like 300 hours into that game. And that's not including reloads, because one of your characters dying in Wasteland 2 definitely warrants a reload, even if it feels like cheating. Sometimes it's just painfully unclear what the hell you're supposed to be doing, or where exactly you're supposed to be going. Quests don't hold your hand, but in this sense, it's mostly just confusing. While some of that may have been my fault for getting caught up in meticulously searching every single nook and cranny of the game for loot or hidden passageways or unexpected secrets, sometimes I did that completely by accident because I had no idea where to go or what was next. Oops. That said, it's also a fairly unattractive game, and there are a lot of bland, dusty environments that fill your travels, but I mostly didn't care. This isn't a game about flashy graphics, it's a game about choices and consequences. It's brutal, it's kind of terrifying. It's sometimes grotesquely shocking, but for reasons I can't help but admire. Wasteland 2 is certainly a journey, and it's one I have to wholeheartedly recommend. The game is currently available on the PC, get on it. I'm Alanah, thanks for watching Button Bash.